Welcome to your yoga practice today, everyone. So go ahead and find your mat. But before you do, grab yourself a pillow. If you have a bolster, cool, but you don't need one. You can just even take a pillow from the bed. We're going to use it today just for our warm-up for our breathing. So go ahead and pause, grab what you need, and then come on back. All right, so we are going to get into child's pose. So most of you are probably familiar with this pose. We're going to come down onto our heels. So we're going to sit on our heels. And from here, we're going to bring our knees nice and wide. We're going to bring that pillow in front of us. And we're going to keep the hips back. You know, your bum might not touch your heels. That's okay. Wherever it is, just find yourself leaning on that pillow in front of you, bringing one ear to the pillow. Now, you don't even need the pillow or the bolster. You can just come into a wide leg child's pose. This is just a nice way to support yourself, right? So this is more of a restorative pose. And I'm just letting the weight of my pelvis pull that, those muscles in my low back, getting a little stretch there, and having the arms and elbows down, nice and supportive, right? So we're just going to find our breath here. So inhaling nicely, just feeling where we are with our breath, checking in. Maybe noticing that the breath might start to get a little more elongated. Maybe it was a little short and tight. And then you find yourself onto your mat and start to realize, oh, how am I breathing? Here we go. Start to relax. And then you're going to inhale and come up, exhale, come back down and switch sides. And be on the other ear. I'm going to stay facing you guys just so you can hear me. But now we're going to take a few moments on the other side there, a few breaths. Just taking time to notice how we're feeling. How are things going for us? Maybe we haven't had an opportunity to check in with ourselves today. So we can use this as an opportunity to do that. What's going on for me right now? How's my body feeling? Any sensations speaking to me? And from here, we're just going to slowly move that prop out of the way. And find yourself extending those hands. And if you can, bring the forehead down to the mat. We're just going to stay here for 3 breaths. Just seeing if the shoulders feel like they want to open up a little bit. And the heart kind of comes down towards the mat. If this isn't comfortable for you, you can bring your hands to your forehead. Or you can keep the pillow underneath you. Beautiful. From here, we're going to start to stretch out. So start to bring the hips up and slowly come onto your stomach, right down to the ground. Beautiful. We're going to bring the hands out in front of us and in like a prayer pose above our head. And then we're going to you can keep the arms straight if that feels good, but you can always bend the elbows as well. And we're going to bring the forehead down to the ground. This is a truly a beautiful pose, a divine pose for surrender, for the idea of this, it's called prayer pose, so the idea of completely surrendered, humility, being teachable, letting go, opening up. And from here you can start to see, are we holding tension in the hips that we can let go of? Can we let the hips drop into the weight of the floor, into the gravity, letting the floor hold the weight of the hips completely and fully? If there's any discomfort in the low back, so you can always put a little pillow or a prop under the low stomach here. And we're going to start to take our prayer pose apart and bring our arms down beside us. And we're going to just simply roll over. There's no real movement for that, no real pose or transition. We're just going to roll over and come down to our backs. Finding ourselves in like a Shavasana, we're going to press the head into the ground, lift the chest as we lift the shoulders up and bring them together on the back and place it back down. We're going to inhale one knee to the chest. Doesn't really matter which one. Right knee, I guess. And then we're going to draw that knee across the body. We're not going to twist here in the spine. We're just going to use it as an opportunity to stretch the glutes. So find the angle that feels good for you. And then bring that knee back to center. Extend the leg and inhale. Other leg, opposite leg up. We're going to hug that knee into us. Get a little bit of a stretch there. Holding on with the opposite hand, we're going to draw that knee across the chest again. Again, not a twist, just a little bit of stretch, a little bit of movement. We're going to release that and extend those legs. We're going to bring both legs up, drop them over to the side and start to roll over onto our side. Press ourselves up with our hand. All right, we're going to come into a little head to knee pose. So we're going to start with both legs out, kind of like a V shape, and we're going to bring the right leg in, bringing that right bottom of the foot to the inner left thigh. And I want you to kind of hug that hip back. So the idea of just lift it up, press into your heel, lift up and hug it back. So we're looking for a hinge in the hip here. So we're gonna sweep our hands behind us, inhale, extend the heart up to the sky. And as we exhale, we're just gonna come forward just a bit. We should feel a nice little stretch along the back of the foot. Let the foot do what it wants. Right? It doesn't have to be flexed or towards the sky. And if you're not feeling a stretch, then go a little deeper. But the idea here is to keep the back not from rounding. We don't want to really round here. It's not important to get the head to the knee. Let's just keep that back nice and neutral. And if you can relax into the stretch. We can do that by using our breath. So use your breath to release and let go and give those muscles a signal that it's okay to relax. All right, slowly start to walk ourselves up. Extend again in both legs, and we're going to take it on the other side. So bringing that left foot to the inner thigh, we're going to pick up that thigh and bring it back, hugging that hip crease in. I'm going to sweep our hands behind us, extending the heart, and slowly start to walk ourselves forward. Wherever you're feeling that stretch, you're going to stop there. You know, reach your edge, whatever your edge is, where you're feeling that whoa, you know, and then just take a breath. See if you can be there for a moment with it. If you need to back off, if you're feeling any knee pain or need to back off, go ahead and do that. But if you're just feeling, you know, uncomfortable stretch, see if you can relax into it with your breath. All right, start to bring those hands back. Beautiful. We're going to sweep our feet behind us as we come into a tabletop position. Plug into the hands here, grip into the floor. We're going to curl the toes under and send the hips back, downward facing dog. Walk the dog a bit if that feels good, or just hang out there. Let the head drop completely. And then we're just gonna walk ourselves up to the top of our mat. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna actually start on this side today for viewing purposes. So we're gonna plug in, we're gonna find our mountain. So plugging in to the four corners of our feet, we're gonna lift the toes up, spread them out wide, and slay them back down, getting a nice grip of the mat. All right, finding our mountain position. We're gonna inhale, arms up, overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, send the bum back. Forward fold, let that head drop. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold once more. From here, we're gonna plant the hands down. We're gonna send that right foot back. We're gonna make sure that we have a footing where the right foot is on a bit of a 45-degree angle here. So facing out, and as if the feet were on train tracks side by side, not behind one another. From here, find that grounding in your feet, lift to the knee, and then we're gonna come up, warrior one pose. So finding your stability, finding that drishti, that gaze in front of you, that light gaze to help you with your balance. Beautiful. We're going to bring the hands together overhead, pull them down to our heart, and we're going to sweep that back foot behind our front foot so that the heel intersects the inner arch of that back foot, and we're going to turn our torso to the side. Coming in and setting up warrior two. We're going to stretch out those arms nice and long. And then we're going to take our gaze over those front fingers here, making sure the shoulders stay nice and down. We're going to flip that front hand up towards the sky and start to drop over towards the back. Coming into a peaceful warrior. Inhale, coming back up, bringing that forearm to the front knee. And we're gonna sweep that top arm in front of us, lock it into place, and then open it up towards the sky. Getting a nice opening here. Continuing with pressing into the feet, strong foundation here. We're gonna take a nice, beautiful breath. And as we exhale, we're gonna start to rotate towards the ground, let that breath out, flip onto the toes in the back, and we're gonna bring our knee to the ground. Now, as you progress through, you might keep your knee up off the ground for this motion, but for now, we're gonna keep our knee to the ground. We're gonna come up to our knee. We're gonna come up to a twist. So bringing our hands together at heart center. We're gonna do a 4-part twist using the breath to help us. So we're gonna inhale. Exhale, we're gonna turn at the waist. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to turn at the ribs. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to turn at the shoulders. And then finally, inhale. Exhale, we're going to place opposite elbow to opposite knee. Now you can stop at any point during that twist where it feels good and comfortable for you. Making sure to pull that belly button into the knee. The belly button into the spine. Don't pull it towards your knee. And then we're gonna come out of that with grace and control. Bringing those hands back down to the mat, framing that front foot. Pop ourselves back up to a lunge and step that left foot back to downward facing dog. Walk it out, you guys. Doing great. Lift that right leg to the sky. Inhale, exhale, pull that knee to the chest, rock the hips to the sky, come through again to our lunge. We're gonna set up for warrior one on the other side now. So we're gonna plant that back foot down at a 45 degree. Remember our train tracks. Bring ourselves up to our knee. And then finally setting up the torso. Warrior one. I want to make sure that, if our hips are kind of parallel with the mat, so we don't want to be facing over here. So if you need to, change the length of your step, go ahead and do that, right? All right. From here, we're going to bring our hands together in prayer pose, down in front of us. You guys stay there for a minute. I'm going to switch. There we go. All right. And then we're going to sweep that back foot behind, intersecting, turning our torso, and we're going to send it out. Send that love out from our heart into the world. Needs it right now, that's for sure. Flip that palm towards the sky, and we're going to bring it back to peaceful warrior. Don't lose the bend in the knee. Keep the bend in the knee here. We don't want to be doing this. As far as feels comfortable. And then we're going to sweep it back over. Forearm to the knee. Bringing that top arm up and over. Lock it into place and open it up. You got it, guys. Stick with it. We're almost there. Pressing into the feet. And we're going to rotate, coming down, flip on the back toes. Right. From here, you can stay lifted again as we practice our twist, or for a progression, start by bringing the knee down. Coming up, bring the hands to heart center, and we're going to practice that 4-part breath again. Inhaling, twist from the core. Inhaling, exhale, twist at the ribs. Inhaling, exhale, shoulders. And finally, inhaling, exhaling, opposite elbow to opposite knee. Really pressing into the feet here to help with that stability. And if it feels good, you could take the eyes to the sky. Pulling that belly button into the spine, keeping that core engaged. And we're going to slowly, with grace and control, rotate out. Coming back down, come into our lunge. We're going to bring that left foot up to meet the right. Delta wing the arms beside the body, press into the feet, start to bring ourselves up. Mountain pose, bring hands to heart center. Feel the effects. Feel the effects of that movement, that breath. Let's tilt the chin to the chest just slightly. Namaste, everyone.